Hi, and good evening, you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight for our Tuesday night continuing education classes. It's always so much fun to see you guys here, and hopefully we're going to bring you guys some really great content that you guys are excited to learn. And as always, what I want to remind you guys of is we're going to keep everybody muted until towards the end of the class, and then we will have a time when we have questions and answers. You guys tonight, you guys are in for a real treat. We are lucky to have Jules Tipton as our teacher. She is excellent at expressing and educating us in simple, easy ways to be able to learn and understand, but yet gives us all of the good, deep, juicy details of how these products work. So tonight, you guys, we are on our continuing education class number 2. It is about lifelong vitality and supplements. And like I said, this is the foundation to having really good health. We have a series of 8 different classes. I don't know if Mandy's here yet, but she will be. We give away this recipe book that has almost 300 recipes in it that are from some of our best top leaders in our group. I actually had 2 ladies come in today who had heard about this book, and they came in and bought it. You guys, it's retail $25. And so you guys get that as a gift, as a thank you, once you have completed all 8 classes. And I know that we have quite a few people who are ready probably in the next week or 2 to get that book. So we want to encourage you guys to do that. Also, if you wouldn't mind, in the chat, if you have questions that are coming up as we're learning, go ahead and put your questions there. Or if you also will tell us who invited you to class tonight and where you're joining from. It's always so much fun to see where everybody is joining from. Oh, there's Mandy. Hey, Mandy. And so that's Mandy. She's our backbone. She makes everything work in the background. And so she'll be putting up the link for our 8 continuing education classes. And then we'll also tell you guys a really great way at the end where you can text a number, text a word to a phone number and get reminders. I love it because I'm sitting here and 10 minutes ago, I got a little reminder that said, hey, class is starting and here's the link. And so it made it super simple. These classes are open to everyone and anyone. So whether people have a wholesale account and are buying doTERRA the best way, or if they're still just discovering it, you are all welcome. Like I said, I'm going to introduce Jules. You guys, Jules has been with us for a pretty long time, and we're lucky because she has years and years and years of experience in the health and wellness. Her own journey started when she was in high school as an athlete, and I'll go ahead and let her tell you what she wants about that, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you now, Jules.
Thanks, Haley. I'm always like a little bit taken aback, I guess, by the great intro that you give me. So thank you for that. Because we never think we're all that, right? So it's really nice that you do that. Thanks for that. I really appreciate it. I want to just say welcome to everybody that's here. I know that there's some faces on here that I've seen before, but there are also faces that I haven't. If you don't have your camera on and you can get over that fear of showing us your face, we'd love it if you turn it on. I know for me, I try not to look at me. I minimize myself and I try to look at all the faces that I'm talking to and the slides so that I can relate to those. But it makes it easier if I can see smiling faces. So yeah, if you can just turn those cameras on, that would be great. And really, it won't be as painful as you think, I promise. So yeah, thanks for joining this class. Haley's right. My journey started way back actually when I was in junior high as an athlete. And I know that sounds really crazy to think junior high, maybe it was where your nutrition or your foundational nutrition came from, but that really is where it started with me. I started working with a coach who really started pointing out to me and to my mom all the different ways that we could support my body as a young athlete. So that just has gone on as I've grown, as I've aged, all through high school and beyond, all the different athletic endeavors that I've done, all the professional endeavors that I've done. It's always been founded in nutrition and what we can do and how we can support our bodies. I read this quote today, or I heard this quote today that I want to share with everybody as we start, and you should probably write this down because it's a great food for thought. And the quote is, "Your physical body is a picture of what is going on inside of you. So to me, that is such a great reminder of, if we're seeing things, whether it's in our skin, our hair, our weight, our just our body composition as a whole, our how much energy we have, all of those things, if we're seeing things and feeling things, that is a real indicator of what's happening inside of us. And how we address what's happening inside of us is to really dial in nutrition. That's like the foundation of everything. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about how to build that really strong foundation, so that that outward vision, that outward picture that you see, is that reflection of all the good stuff that's happening inside of you. So keep that in mind. Write that quote down. Okay, so we're going to talk all about foundational nutrition tonight, our lifelong vitality supplements, and as well as some others, and just how we can best support our body and get the most out of our body and feel better in our body. Okay, Haley, thanks. Haley's got to do slides for me because I can't figure out how to do slides. Uh-oh, maybe she's gone and she can't do the slides. Mandy, can you take over?
I can't.
Okay.
Let me see.
All right.
She'll be right back. She had somebody in the store.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to keep talking then. Not hard for me. Not hard for me. So for those of you who didn't write that down, and for those of you who did, that quote, I want you to just kind of stop and think, and maybe by a show of hands so I can see the faces. Just a show of hands here. How many of you, when you look at what that outward vision of you is, does it make you pause and go, oof, I need to pay more attention to what's going on in my body? That's for me. I can definitely raise my hand on that one. Everybody else? Yeah. Doesn't that hit home for you, to make you really pause and go, yeah, I can do better? And it all starts with little steps. And that's what I want you to remember as we're going through everything here tonight. I want you all to remember that it is this journey of feeling better in your body, this journey of fueling your body in a better way, or a more profound way, and a more targeted way, that all happens in baby steps. We don't just decide today that it's going to happen, and then tomorrow, everything turns around. That isn't the way life works in anything, but it definitely doesn't work when we're talking about our nutrition and our body. It's baby steps. I've run one marathon in my life, and I didn't decide to run that marathon on one day and go run the marathon the next day. I did 18 weeks of training, really targeted, lined out training. And that's how I got to being able to put one foot in front of the other, to saying I was going to run the marathon, to actually running the marathon. So it was that process of baby steps. So just remember that as we're going through these slides tonight, that this is a process of baby steps. And we're just going to give you some tools that you can use to take those baby steps, and that each day you can progress and you can dial in more of what you want and that outward appearance of what you're shooting for. Okay, Haley, thanks. Can you switch my slide for me? She's back.
Jules, how far do you want me to go? Sorry.
No, that's okay. You can just go to the next slide. I just been talking about the quote that I said to begin with. So yeah, we're good. So just go to the next slide.
Is it not changing?
Nope, we're still looking at nutrition and supplements right now.
Yeah, let me do this one more time.
Okay.
I love technology.
Well, hey, I love that you can do this for me, because for whatever reason, you guys, I've never been able to figure out how to get the screen to share from my end onto Haley's Zoom. So I appreciate it.
Did it?
It did not.
Okay.
Nope. We're still looking at nutrition and supplements. We can see the slides over on the left-hand side of the screen, the other slides, but they're not coming up. They're not advancing, I guess is what I should say.
Okay, did it change now?
Nope.
Well, I don't know why it's not changing. You guys, I swear.
Okay, something's happening now, Haley. Now we have lifestyle impacts wellness, but then it's a blank screen underneath it. We do have the heading though.
Do you want that one? Did it change?
Sure, we can start there. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. There you go.
We'll start there.
Okay.
So I talked about baby steps, and we just saw the heading of that last slide that said lifestyle and how that affects things. This is a great slide to show you why so many of us are not that image of what we would like to see. And that is because we have become, particularly in the United States, a society of fast food and instant gratification. So the more processed foods we eat, the more fast food we eat, the less we shop in the organic selection section at the grocery store, the more we're going to have that visual of ourselves that we don't really like. And that's going to be an indicator of what's going on. There's just not a lot of nutritional value in fast food and processed food. So to take that a step further, question for everybody. Do you think we get what we need for good health from our food? If you shop at the grocery store and you think you're doing the best, do you think that you get everything you need from the grocery store, even if you're doing all organic, all everything? Yeah, Bobby says nope. I would agree, Bobby. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty organic. I make the best decisions most of the time, 80% of the time, but I can tell you, I know that I still don't get what I would like to get from the food I'm eating because it just doesn't have the same nutritional value. Okay, Haley, try switching the slide. See if we can do it. Oh, it's changing. Okay, lifestyle impacts wellness. So daily nutrients, what we're fueling our body with, how we metabolize metabolizing enzymes that help us break down and get the most out of that food, how we cleanse the waste and the toxins, not just like what comes out of us, but with that process that's happening on the inside, those organs that are helping us cleanse those waste and toxins, having really good gut bacteria, gut biome, a healthy gut biome, how much energy we have, how much rest we're getting, all of those things impact how we're feeling. All of those things impact that picture that we were talking about in that quote in the very beginning. Okay, Haley, thank you. This article is, you can see that it was in 2013, May 25th of 2013, which in one hand makes you think, oh, well, yeah, that's outdated information. But what we know about information is that if this was this way in 2013, it's gotten even worse here in 2023, 10 years later. And this quote is perfect. This is a headline from the New York Times. The loss of beneficial nutrients did not begin 50 or 100 years ago, as many assume. Unwittingly, we have been stripping phytonutrients from our diet since we stopped foraging for wild plants some 10,000 years ago and became farmers. Those of you who are farmers here, you know that when you guys have crops, you rotate crops because things deplete. Whatever you're growing depletes different things from the soil. And so you have to put something else in there to put those nutrients back in. So that's why you rotate crops. So the same thing has happened year after year after year after year in these mass production of our food. And so our food just doesn't have the same nutrient value that it used to have. And it's been diminishing literally for 10,000 years. It's a crazy thought. So years ago, like way back when I was in the 7th grade, my mom we took a 1-a-day vitamin. I'm sure that there, by a show of hands, so you guys can talk about how many of you remember 1-a-day vitamins. And not to slam 1-a-day vitamins, but really to slam 1-a-day vitamins, that's not a good thing. It's not a good choice. But that became the multivitamin revolution, if you will, and then it started to evolve. And we went from that 1-a-day vitamin being, poor quality with artificial ingredients, then to these megadose vitamins that looked at it as though more must be better. If this is good, then we'll just we'll overload it with all kinds of stuff, and that will be better. But the truth is, that doesn't matter because your body can only utilize so much anyway. And so those mega vitamins are just a waste, an absolute waste. Okay, when we look at this, I mentioned that we're going to talk about doTERRA's lifelong vitality. So when we look at this gives you an idea of what the average diet plus doTERRA's daily nutrient pack, or our lifelong vitality, where that puts us. We want to be in that 100% zone, that green zone that you see there. That's where we want to land. That's where our body's going to get the most nutrient value out of not only the foods we're eating, but then when we're supplementing and filling in those gaps, that's where we want to land. And when we take doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality, this is what it will do for us. It will put us in that sweet spot, that range of all green, where we want to be at 100%, not at 200% or 300% or 400%, but at that 100%, so that our body can actually absorb, metabolize, use it, and then get rid of whatever is a waste from whatever else we've had. But this is going to land us in the sweet spot. So when we look at this, the Lifelong Vitality is the nutritional equivalent of 12 servings of fruit and vegetables in every single serving of it. So I don't know about you guys, but like I said, I eat about 80% of the time. My diet is pretty target on. I don't get 12 servings of fruits and vegetables. I don't. And I don't really know anybody who does, except maybe my daughter-in-law, who for a while was a vegan. My son was too, but that changed. But they probably did get that 12 servings of fruits and veggies, but most of us don't. And these supplements that we're taking with Lifelong Vitality, they are all made from whole food sources. Which that means that there's no fillers, there's no additives, there's no binders, nothing to make them hold together, nothing to make them weigh more, nothing to make them more stable over the long term. There's just the food source in there. There's also essential oils in there, and those help maximize that support of those fruits and vegetables that we're getting. And then the omegas are in a capsule, which preserves the potency even longer. If you open those omegas, you see they're in a really dark colored capsule, gel cap kind of, and soft gel. And that helps preserve the potency of that omega-3 that's in there. Alpha CRS is our cellular vitality complex. And really what that means is this is just really food for our cells. This is energy for our cells. It's targeted to be feeding our cells. It helps to promote that healthy cell function. It helps to support our mental clarity. It helps to prevent upset stomach that can come along a lot of times with vitamins. The essential oils and the botanical extracts that are in there, that's going to help soothe the stomach of any upset, and then everything is going to be able to be absorbed and basically used by the body, really bioavailable. That's what bioavailable means. It means being able to use it. The body actually can use it. And then our omegas, this is probably, not that I'm an expert, but I'm pretty well versed in supplements. And I will tell you, this is one of, if not the very best omega-3 that I've ever seen, source of omega-3. Omega-3s in particular, we have omega-6s, omega-3s, and omega-9s. And omega-3s are an essential fatty acid. And what that means as an essential fatty acid, our body doesn't make those. So they have to be supplemented. We either have to get them from food sources or they have to be supplemented. And we can't hardly eat, really can't eat enough of omega-3 foods to get enough of them. So it must be supplemented so that we have enough. And what do omega-3s do? They promote cardiovascular health. They're going to help healthy joint function. They're going to help our brain. They're going to help our central nervous system. They're going to help every single system in our body work better. Microplex VMZ is our multivitamin. And this is everything in here about that at the cellular level. It's about energy. It's about healthy metabolism overall. It's literally a food nutrient complex. This is loaded with vitamins A, C, and E, antioxidants, all antioxidants, 22 essential minerals and vitamins are in there, healthy immune function. This is everything about giving, this is filling in the gaps of kind of like everything all encompassed. So this is having the healthiest meal you could ever possibly fuel your body with in this vitamin. So doesn't mean we can make bad food choices and just take this vitamin, but when we're making good food choices and we take this vitamin, this is going to fill in the gaps where that food has left this is going to fill in the gaps and give us the most benefit from those nutrients. Terrazyme, you see Terrazyme there. This is absolutely essential to foundational nutrition because we need enzymes to break down our food and so that we can absorb that and get the most out of it. And Terrazymes is everything about keeping our gut and our intestines and our overall health and well-being really working great. This is everything from the inside out about that absorption and that digestion and of the nutrient value. Terrazyme are a must-have for all of us. And Terrazyme, I'll just get a little food for thought here for you. If you ever eat too much and you're just feeling really full, or you just have something that didn't really sit very well and you just kind of have that bloated feeling, your Terrazyme are going to help break that down, and that's going to move that process through. And within about 20 minutes, you're going to start to feel a lot better. So let's talk about, since we're talking about the gut and Terrazyme and digestive enzymes, let's talk about things that damage our gut health. An unhealthy diet, that processed food that we talked about in the very beginning, fast foods, stress damages our gut biome. Antibiotic use. If we take an antibiotic today, we take a round of antibiotics today, that can take up to 2 years for that single round of antibiotics to work its way through our system and for our gut to right that gut biome, because antibiotics go in and they kill everything. So it really messes with our gut biome. So antibiotic use can mess with that. Lack of regularly moving our bodies are meant to move. We are designed to walk. So lack of exercise can affect that. Poor sleep habits, stress, all of the things. All the things that we all hear about, those are all, highlighted no matter what we're looking at in health and wellness. We always hear about those things. Well, they all affect our gut biome. They all affect how well we're doing on the inside, which means that we're going to see that picture on the outside of us as well. Okay, we have PB Assist, and this is all about our gut biome. PB Assist is our pre and probiotic. And when you get these, I don't think we have a slide that shows it, but it is in a dual chambered capsule, and that's patented. So you have probiotic in one side and you have prebiotic in the other. Those are going to break down at different times in your body. But bottom line, you need a pre and a probiotic because your probiotics feed on your prebiotics. That's their food. And so when we have a pre and probiotic, which is key, that is going to help really balance out that gut biome and help our gut just be as healthy as it can possibly be. And the better balance that is, the better our brain works, the better our digestive system functions, and it makes it so our immune system functions better as well. They call our gut right now our second brain. So the healthier we can make our gut, the healthier we're going to be. Okay, let's talk about some other supplements too. What do we have next, Haley? Here we go. Deep Blue. Deep Blue polyphenols. I love Deep Blue polyphenols as an aging athlete. I use this a lot. I actually take one of these every night right before I go to bed. And if I've done something or if my body's a little more achy than it was, for whatever reason, whether I've done a different workout or I have some issues in my back, if I've lifted something too heavy or if I've just asked a little bit too much in my back, I will take Deep Blue, and I'll take it a couple of times during the day, but I always take one at night. Always, always, always. This is not Deep Blue, the oil, but what Deep Blue, the oil does for us externally when we put it on topically, this Deep Blue polyphenol does for us on the inside. So it helps to soothe, it helps to reduce inflammation, it helps to just support our joints and those muscles so that we aren't as sore. Works in tandem with Deep Blue Rub or Deep Blue Oil. So when we use those topically, then we take this internally. And like I said, we get those benefits from the inside out. And you can see right down at the bottom, I told you kind of how I take it. It says take daily or as needed. It's a supplement. And this is a supplement and is more and more effective the more you use it. So you can't I want to say that it's not that you can't overtake this, but if you need it, you can take it. Take one at a time, but you can take it. Just know that. Turmeric. I just read another study today that was talking about one of the best natural things that we can use to help reduce inflammation in our body, and that's turmeric. And we have turmeric in a dual chambered capsule as well. And that is because it has the powdered form, which is curcumin. And then the other side is the turmerones. And that is in an oil form. So we get the best of both of those because when we have those two together, we get double the anti-inflammatory power. So this is one of the best things that we can do for too much inflammation in the body. Helps to support that healthy inflammatory response, also helps to fight some free radicals and protect the body from oxidative damage. Like I said, complements of, we get the complementary part of the turmerones, which is in the oil, and the powdered form of the curcuminoids. We get those together and they work together absolutely beautifully. I want you to screenshot this. Those of you particularly who are new here, screenshot this because this golden milk recipe is a really tasty and healthy way to also soothe sore muscles and sore joints and help you with that proper inflammatory response. It makes a really great evening tea or even a morning tea. Women's health. This I could talk about all day long because I'm all about how to help women through perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, and the things that we can do to support us as we're going through that because our hormones are going crazy. And these three right here are must-haves for women. Men can take them as well. Don't misunderstand, but they are must-haves for women. This is a bone nutrient. We all know that as we age and as we age and as our estrogen declines, our bone density declines. We're probably most all of us experiencing that. So we need this bone nutrient. We need the phytoestrogens. That is going to help block some of the xenoestrogens that are things that make our hormones go crazy, basically. And the phytoestrogens help to level that out and block those xenoestrogens from actually messing with our hormones. And then we have the Clary Calm over there in that roller. And it is everything about calming anything that is going on emotionally, in your brain, stress-wise, in your body, anything for women in particular, when you're having your period or your cycle and you have that low back pain, your stomach pain, ovary pain, uterine pain, you want to use Clary Calm. It is so soothing and so supportive for all of those things. I'm not telling you it's going to take it all away, but I'll tell you what, it's definitely going to be supportive and you're going to be glad you have it. So when we're looking at the stress side of things and we're looking at reducing that in our body, then we want to look at things like Serenity and Adaptive. I don't personally use these two together. I know that Haley does. I know that James does. He uses these together all the time at night, but they can be used together. They can also be used individually, but these are everything about helping us to get a better night's sleep, helping us to lower any kind of anxious feelings that we're having and kind of rein those in, that monkey brain, that just pent up kind of thing that we can get sometimes. Adaptive is really great at calming that. So is Serenity. Serenity for me is an every night routine. It helps me sleep, particularly as you're going through those hormonal disruptions. Serenity can be really good for sleep, and Adaptive can be really good to help just calm you down. Very calming to the nervous system, both of them really going to help you lower that stress. And when you wake up in the morning after you've used these, if you've used them at night, you don't have any kind of drugged or hungover feeling. You just wake up feeling refreshed. But here's the thing, you can actually take them during the day too, because you don't get that drugged feeling. You don't get that slow feeling. You don't get any of that. It just calms you. It just calms your central nervous system. So when we take it at night, it helps us sleep. And when you take it during the day, it just levels us out. So we're not really tied up or tense about things. Okay, so we're nearing the end of this. So let's talk about how you can get your oils paid for. Because I know a lot of people when you first start, this didn't happen for me because I was using oils anyway when I started with doTERRA way back when. But I know that a lot of people look at them and they think, oh, I want to use them, but it just seems like it's expensive. Well, there's a way to make it so that it's not so expensive, and the way that you can save money, put money in your pocket, refer your friends, share them with your friends. It's really not that hard to do. You just have to remember 3 cool things about essential oils, and that is that they're safe, they're effective, and they're affordable when you learn how to use them correctly. And there's 3 ways to use them. You can use your essential oils topically, internally, some of them internally, and you can also use them aromatically. And then you can share them with your friends. The end. That's it. That's how you do it. That's how you get oils paid for. Okay, 3 ways to share. Excuse me. You can do referrals, which every single one of us who is actually building a doTERRA business, we love referrals. I love referrals. I reward people for referrals all the time. Doesn't mean you have to do the business, but if you're loving what I have turned you on to and you're loving the results that you're seeing, share, and tell your friends, give us that referral. We are going to make it worth your while, and we're going to make sure that we take care of your friend that you have shared with us, that you've referred to us. If you want to actually look at doing it as a business and having, whether it's a side gig or if you want to replace income, you start out as a side gig and you can get extra income. You share with your friends, and then you give your friends a wholesale account, and you turn them on to how they can save money and treat their families and themselves in natural ways to feel better in their bodies. And then you can do like I do, or Haley does, or several other people on this call, and you can run this as a business, and you can transition it really to a full-on business where you build a team and you start to train other people to do what I'm doing and teach classes and do things like that. And all you're doing really is just helping people feel better in their body. Bottom line, that's all you're doing. And you get rewarded for it when you start to run it as a business and use it that way. There's 4 different ways to earn in doTERRA. We're not going to dig deep into those tonight, but just know that there are 4 different ways to earn. There's a fast start bonus, there's a power of 3 bonus, there's a unilevel bonus, and there's a leadership bonus. There's all different ways that you can maximize your income with doTERRA as you start to build it as a business. Okay, so we are at the end here. This is class number 3. This is class number 2 tonight. Next week is class number 3. And it is all about weight management, nutritional support, all the different kinds of things that when I'm working with someone, teaching them how to feel better in their body, this is the next step to lifelong vitality. We talked about lifelong vitality tonight. Next week is all the other things that I show them that they can use to help to fuel their body better from the inside out so that the outside matches what the inside is doing and it all looks really good. So that's what next week's is. And when you tune in, you get what is, we kind of stumbled upon, but it's what is called the skinny jeans recipe. And it is a great way to use your oils to help you get into your skinny jeans as we start to head into summer. This is the list of our classes right here. As Haley mentioned in the beginning, we have 8 of them and we rotate. We just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we start back over with class 1. When you have attended all 8, you get that cool book that Haley showed us, and you don't have to do them consecutively. So if you jumped in here tonight on class 2 and then you missed next week class 3, maybe you missed class 4 and you jump in on class 5, it's okay. Mandy always puts a Google form in the chat. You fill in that Google form, you say, hey, I was at this class, you submit that, and it's tracked. And when you've done all 8 classes, you can always come back and catch another one. When you've done all 8 classes, you get that cool book. Okay. All right, I see Mandy is throwing that Google form in the chat. So for those of you who are here tonight for the first time, or if you are catching this class for the first time, make sure that you fill out that Google form and submit it so that we know that you are at class number 2. All right, does anybody have questions, comments, whatever? We have a bunch of us here that can answer. I have not been following the chat at all, so I don't have any idea if there was anything there. So anybody have a testimonial to share or a question that you want to ask, you can hold your hand up and Haley will unmute you and you can ask your question. Oh, Crystal has one.
Yay, Crystal.
I do. And this one occurred to me a little bit as you were talking, because so we talked about the fact that for over 10,000 years now, the soil has been depleted, the nutrition's being bred out of the food. So my question is, right, and I think this could also be sort of not so much a selling point, I'm losing kind of the word here, but when we're talking to anyone or about ourselves, when sorry, train of thought, wow, crashed. I'm a little scattered today, I'm sorry. So we're talking to people about doTERRA and we're talking about these pills, and we know that the nutrition has left the food. So how does doTERRA take all of that, all of the depletion from everything that's been grown, and put it into the pill and make it fill the gaps for us?
That's probably a bigger answer than I could give you, but I will tell you, that's a great question. It is a great question. And truthfully, I don't know how I can verbalize that and answer it, but I'll tell you, when you go to the campus there and you tour the facilities and you start to talk to the scientists, you start to see how they do it. They literally break down those nutrients. They're looking at those nutrients, what foods they get those nutrients from, those minerals from. They're breaking them down. They're literally measuring each one so that when they put it in that capsule or in that soft gel, they know measured what's in there and how our body's going to use it. I know that's not the perfect answer for that, but that is really when you go, and for you, Crystal, in particular, I would encourage anybody to go, but because I know a little bit, because I've talked to you several times now, I know how your brain works. You would eat that up if you went and toured that facility. You would love it. Haley, you want to weigh in on that too? Because you may have a better way to explain that than I just did.
All I know is that the co-impact sourcing and where we source our products are tested over and over and over. They test the soil to make sure there's no contaminants, no pesticides, no nothing that's going to harm us. When they, like Joel said, as they put the products together for us, they test them. They continue to test them at that level too. And, just the fact that they're micronutrients and they're bioavailable, and that they have measured, they've done so much science and so many studies about the lifelong vitality, because it is doTERRA's #1 selling product. And there's a reason, is because when people use it and their body, because people, I used to take all kinds of supplements. I had them designed for me and my blood type, right? And I still was having this weird life and all this chaos, and I wasn't functioning properly and my body was hurting and all the things. And then when I started taking Lifelong Vitality with that 30-day money back guarantee, within days, I started to notice something different. And the longer that I took it, the better that I felt. So, as far as, doTERRA and their sourcing, I know that they are very, very particular. And if something comes back at 99%, doesn't matter if it's a product, an oil, or, even like the skincare. People get upset when we run out of skincare or when they do a product recall, but if it comes back tested 99%, they reject it. And that I love about doTERRA. And, the shampoo has quite a little bit of controversy about it, because they're retiring one of their shampoos. And somebody said, gosh, so have we been using something that's not at the right quality? And you guys, it's not about that at all. It's that they've found something better. And our sourcing is better, and our containers are better, and our imprint on the earth is better. And so they're standing true to who we are, and the commitments that we've made in going forward is we don't compromise. We don't compromise product for price, or price for product, or containers. And so that's one of the things I love most about doTERRA. I don't know if that helps or if I went down a rabbit hole, but it's pretty cool. And so when they do the sourcing and the oils and things too, they'll come into a farm and they'll say, in order for you to have product that is of the quality and the standards that we require, you need to do the following things. And they'll do that with the farmers and the plants too. So like, I love the story that they've told about wild orange, of how, they have crops that come from, my mind just went blank. Crops for Wild Orange from Dominican Republic. And there's a couple of other places now, and Florida is also one of them, but they also have, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of trees. And then they also have co-impact sourcing small businesses that they've helped people start where they might have 12 trees. And they all have the same rules. They have the same soil test. They have the same quality check. And doTERRA doesn't just come in at the beginning and test. They come back randomly and check again. So what a great question. What a meaty, juicy, answers that you're getting is kind of the backbone of doTERRA and why I chose them and why I love this company. And you guys, their headquarters is in Pleasant Grove, Utah. And they have tours where you can go through during convention. They always have special tours. And if you get there's other ones that go on all the time where you can go in and you can see exactly how the process is done, and you can walk through and you can talk to the people and and you can see with the science rooms and all the things. And I highly recommend it also. Good stuff. Thanks, Crystal.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay, anybody else have a testimonial? Lifelong Vitality, supplements? Diane?
I'll give a Lifelong Vitality and supplements, and I really can't pinpoint. I have to probably say it is Lifelong Vitality, but it was several years into using Lifelong Vitality that I came to the realization that I don't have arthritis in my hands anymore. Like it's gone. And I don't know when it happened, because obviously it happened gradually over time. But one day I went, wait a minute, this knuckle here was inflamed. It hurt every time I hit it against something. It was actually hot to the touch. And I don't have that anymore. No aches and pains, no inflammation in my body. I'm sure there's still some inflammation, but it's greatly reduced thanks to all the supplements.
And consistency, right?
Oh, heck yeah.
And it doesn't just happen overnight, you guys. And that's, I think some people, and that's why I love having a scale where you can check, where's your sleep on a scale from 1 to 10? Where's your pain on a scale from 1 to 10? Where's your, how many headaches have you been having this last week or month or every day or whatever? And when you really start looking at where you started and then the use of the products and then where you end up over time, it just gets better and better. I mean, it's crazy. I want to share one thing really quick. So today I had I'm just going to say it was just like this incredible, challenging room to grow day. Okay. And there was one point when I received a phone call and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even know, like my heart started to pound and my face started to turn red. My chest was all, and my voice was getting louder. And I just stopped for a second and I went out to my cupboard and I grabbed the Serenity gel caps. I took 2 of them. And how delicious are they? I popped them both in my mouth and I let them just kind of sit in my mouth for a second. And then I was like, okay. And even though I continued, and it was like that thing happened, and then another thing happened, and then another thing. And it's just like, when is it going to, change? But I could feel my body handling things a little differently. And I could feel this calmness that came over me within seconds. You guys, this is the power of our supplements and our essential oils. Is normally it would have put me into a completely different tailspin, and who knows, with my heart beating as fast as it was, right? But it's like, I know that I have things that are going to give me support in a moment. And coming to these classes, you guys, congratulations for coming. Congratulations for investing and taking the time to come and find out what is available for you and how this stuff can support you, because we all have different things, right? I mean, mine was restless leg syndrome. Like, I couldn't do anything without my legs aching all the time. And I was the one pacing at the theater and in my car, my legs up and down and at the, in airplanes and stuff. And I don't really remember, just like Diane, it's like, I don't remember when it quit. I had to be reminded. And then all of a sudden it's like, gosh, what happened? When did that stop? But I take my supplements as if they were doctor prescribed. And I take a handful. Like I hear people all the time, well, I don't like to swallow pills. You guys, I take all of mine in one handful and in they go and down it goes. And not everybody can do that, right? But it's like, we get to choose. We get to decide. We have the products. Are you sick and tired of where you've been? Are you ready to go somewhere else and have a different experience? And when people say to me, it's expensive, or gosh, I know, but it's just so expensive. It's more expensive not to. Like, what's it costing you not to? Especially down the road when things get worse and things get complicated. Because as I'm getting a little bit older, my body is showing up a little bit more saying, well, you shouldn't have jumped off those bleachers so many times, you know, right? And so it's just, you guys, food for thought is we have the most amazing company that gives the most incredible products that are tested and beyond what anything else on the market is. Most people, when Jules was talking about the supplements and she said, you know, they don't put a lot of fillers and a lot of different things in. It's like most people are putting so much filler in your product. We know that in a bottle of essential oils, I just moved them off my desk, but a bottle of essential oils can say 100% pure essential oils and have 6% pure oil, and the rest can be nothing but garbage. And the same thing with supplements. There's all kinds of things out there, you guys.
Mhm.
You're not getting what's on the label. Like you might read the label and they might say, even cleaners contains, 100% pure lemon oil. Really? How much? And what else is in there? And what are the side effects that are caused? So, okay, rampage over.
I'm going to add in there, get on, well, actually a couple of things here, because I know that people sometimes talk about the cost of them. And my question always is, that never comes up for me now. People don't question it because I am just so adamant about what I know to be true. But when it did come up, I really would say, and this is no kidding, I would say, well, how's what you're doing working for you right now? How are you feeling right now? Because you've been taking this supplement that you've been taking for however long, and yet you're still telling me that you're having this problem. So how's that working for you right now? Change is hard. Change is really hard, but the only thing that we can do when something isn't working is to change. And so it's worth it to make that change and try these supplements, because this is the second part of that for me. I knew Lifelong Vitality was working. I knew that I loved them, but I, this summer, had to be gone for an extended period of time with my dad when he was passing, and I didn't take enough of my supplements with me. And I ran out, did not think it was going to be a big deal because I was only going to be out for a couple of days. And let me tell you, literally by the end of the second day, beginning of the third day, I thought, oh my gosh, I need to get my hands on some of these. I need my supplements. And then there was a number of things that I was noticing, or there were a number of things that I was noticing, but I knew that that was the difference. That was the missing piece. It was what I was going through with my dad, the stress of all of that, the not sleeping and everything else. But then to take Lifelong Vitality and the rest of my supplements out of that picture, it exacerbated what was going on inside of me. And so I needed to get my hands on it. So I did. I got my hands on it really quickly. And here not too long ago, I was up in Nevada again and was staying for an extended period of time and ended up having to stay a little bit longer because of the weather. And that was when I met with Haley. And before she left Elko, I texted her and said, can you please bring me some collagen because I cannot run out. And my last one is tomorrow morning or tomorrow when I break my fast. So can you please bring me some? So she did, because I knew I didn't want to run out because I know the benefits that I get from all of this stuff. So, and maybe that's over time, that has what's changed for me, that I never get asked. I'm pretty adamant about it. As you guys can tell, as I'm talking about this, you would never doubt my passion and my belief in what it is that I'm taking. So just get to that point. where you're not doubting it and people won't doubt you. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah,
It was a
100%.
ramble, so.
Yeah. You can tell that we're not passionate about our products or what we do, right? And you guys,
Yeah.
it's never, ever, ever about the money. It's about when that one person comes to you and they say, this worked. Like those, I had 2 gals come in and buy those $25 good vibe books that they heard about. And the one said, the oils are incredible. I want the blends book that you make. And she goes, I have a friend who made an oil blend. I had surgery. My back was killing. The painkillers weren't working. And she rubbed the oil on and she goes, I got more relief from that than any other thing that I've tried. I mean, those are the stories that I'm like, you're so lucky that you had a friend who knew what to do. And thank you now for coming in and being proactive and finding out what you can do for other things. Because you guys, if it works for the back pain, my mind goes to, well, what else will it work for?
Yep.
I mean, I came to doTERRA because of allergies, of severe debilitating allergies, and yet they're plants. And I mean, think about it. I was desperate and I'm thinking, well, gosh, it's a plant. What if I'm allergic to it? And, other things had caused all kinds of problems for me. And I tried it and it's been the most amazing thing. And it's because of the doTERRA difference that our lavender, which is one of my favorite essential oils now, is something that I can use, which before I felt I was allergic to it because it would cause such bad reactions every time I got near it. Difference in product, difference in quality, difference in sourcing, all the things. So good. Okay, who else has a testimonial for us? We've got a couple more minutes, you guys.
Teresa just shared in the chat. Teresa, do you want to come on and say that live, or should I read the chat that you just typed in? I'll just read it. But in the chat, she says, this is Teresa, and I have 2 clients on LLV and the collagen. They're both athletic and they're having problems. And since taking these, they're both feeling better. So that's a great, I would love it, Teresa, if you would elaborate on that, but that's a great testimonial right there.
Teresa, you're
I
muted.
think there you go. Yeah, you're muted, Teresa.
Yeah,
there you go.
Psychologically challenged here. And I am in my shed tonight. So, well, I know I talked during the Saturday morning business Zooms about the one client who is young and she's having all these body problems and blah, blah, blah. And I did finally convince her to order the LLV and the collagen. And she's been on it about 6 weeks now. And she still is having some issues in the connective tissue, but it's not nearly as bad. And it's really great because she was trying all these other products and I kept saying, blah, 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 blah. And she kept talking about the money and it's too expensive. And finally she did try it starting the end of November. And now I have a different client. She's like about 68, I believe, but she's been a pro or semi-pro swimmer most of her life. And she started having pains and arthritic stuff. And she finally started taking the LLV and the collagen. And now she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so much better and I'm improving. And so I don't have my own testimonials, but I have clients using it. Do any of that make sense?
It all makes sense, Teresa, and thank you for sharing, because there's so many different experiences, different body types, different, what they've gone through, different ages, all of the things. They say that for every year you have had some kind of ailment or, autoimmune or whatever it is, it takes 1 full month of consistent use of a product like Lifelong Vitality or the collagen to be able to start getting results. So the fact that it's been 3 or 4 or 5, 6 weeks and they are feeling so much better, but it's not gone, isn't a surprise at all. And there's layers. And it's like, I know from my own experiences, the longer that I've taken the product, the better I feel. And there are times, you know, when the sleep is interrupted, or just like Jules was saying, life was lifing her and she had some stuff come up. And thank goodness we still go through things, but we bounce back so much quicker because our bodies are supported and they don't have to stay in that fight or flight or, oh my gosh, what's happening? It's going to recover quick. And so it's just, you guys, it's a process and it is an investment. It is an investment, but it's
It's an investment in yourself. Yep. It's an investment in yourself. And that's, I think that we typically, somewhere in our programming, we think that we don't necessarily deserve to invest in ourselves. And that can come from, you know, buying the best supplements. It can come from making sure that we take a walk every day and thinking, oh, I don't have time for that. It can come from when we're just so tired that we really just want to go take a nap, or we want to just call it a day and we don't, and we push through it. When in reality, most times we don't have to do that. Sometimes we have to push through it, but we don't listen to that intuition that tells us, you need to go do this. You need to take this. You need to have that nap or whatever. And we don't do that. And we tend to think that self-care is a luxury, and it is not. Self-care is imperative. If we aren't taking care of ourselves, who is going to? Who's going to? It has to come from us. It has to. We have to make that decision that we want to feel better in our body, and that we will do whatever it takes to make sure that we're feeling better in our body, because that's how we get to be the best that we can be. That's it.
People work their whole life for the golden years, for when they have enough
Yes.
time to do all the fun things. But unfortunately, by the time they get there, they're too beat up and tired and worn out or hurt or whatever to be able to enjoy it. So right now is when we really need to invest in, you know, taking good care of ourselves so that those golden years, you know, and what we're talking about in MetaPower and the results that are happening is we want to have a much higher quality of life longer, not just a longer life. So such good stuff, you guys. So I want to remind you guys that we have classes here on this Zoom using the same Zoom number at the same Zoom time, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Tomorrow night is our Wednesday class, which is our table talk. So there's not a presentation. Well, there's a presentation. They'll start with giving you some information, some updates, and some things to know. And then they open it up for a roundtable discussion or just question and answers. But they go deeper into one or two products. And it's a really, really great class. So I highly encourage you guys, especially if you're brand new to this, is to go on to that class. What I love about the classes, you guys, is you can listen to them while you are folding clothes or cooking dinner or, you know, driving down the road or whatever. Just make sure you keep your eyes on the wheel. And you can learn and you can empower yourself, which then empowers other people around you, which gives you an opportunity to live your very best life, full of passion and purpose and an extended time where you can really get really great results. We love you. We believe in you. We know that this product is going to be good for you. If you ever have questions or you want to go a little bit deeper, make sure you reach out to the person who invited you here. In some cases, you may not have your own wholesale account yet or know how to get the oils in the best price or the best way. We are here to support you in that, but we also want, that's why when we ask at the beginning, who invited you? Because we want to make sure that we are always connecting people back to the person who led them here. And it's a really, really cool journey. I know I've been here for a long time, and every time I get done with a class, it's like, gosh, that was so good. And I learned so much. And yet I've been here, you know, so I know that these classes are full of content. Jules, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and just the way that you teach and the way you show up for us in so many ways, in so many days of the week. We really appreciate you, and everyone else. Thank you for making the time, and we can't wait to see you next time. Mandy did put the link up there. So if you have any questions about that, you can always message us on Messenger through Facebook. So, all right, you guys, have a great night. See you next time.
Thanks, everybody. All right. Bye.